Afternoon team, I'm going to sit down and chat with you, but I've got a pizza to go put in the oven, so I'm going to go do that now, which means we've got 18 minutes for a quick Q&A. Doesn't that sound so satisfying? I thought we could have a drink together, but I've got a race in a week and a half. So I've got the Heineken 0.0%. That's quite nice. I had this after my jaw surgery last year. Tasty. It's also 1,000,000 degrees, so a nice cold beer is going down the street. What you can probably hear is Bonnie, my dog, eating in the background. But the other day, I put a call out on Instagram, you know, cross-pollination and all that, for some questions for Q&A that I would come and do over here. I know Instagram just doesn't like referring to YouTube, but they also got rid of IGTV, so, you know, can't have everything. Shall we get stuck in? Let's get into these questions. So I put out an Ask Me Anything, and they're all basically running questions, which isn't a problem. It's quite nice. So I will start with, is there a generic fueling strategy? I don't know when or how to fuel. So the American College of Sports Medicine recommend 30 to 60 grams of carbs per hour of moderate exercise, and up to 90 grams per hour for like ultra endurance events. So what does that look like? I am an ambassador. This isn't a paid video or anything. I'm an ambassador for VeloFort, so I'm just going to give a rough idea with some of their products and also something else that I like to fuel with as well. So for example, this gel and this gel, they both have, it's the Reba and the Tempo, these are my favourites. These both have 22 grams of carbs in each. So if you were going for the 60 grams per hour, you could have 3 gels. Bonnie's just brought her dinner to eat with me. These are the Fresco chews. So this is a texture kind of thing. I like to mix up my textures, especially over an ultra, because otherwise that's just a lot of the same if you're just doing it on gels. So these are the chews, and these have got 42 grams of carbs in. There's 6 chews in a packet, so you can just like chomp on them as you're going. So that's 42 grams. If you like something with a bit more bite, this is one of their bars. This is the dates, almond and cocoa one. And this has got 40 grams of carbs in as well. So, you know, you could split this across the hour. Great. For me, I tend to eat these pre-training because my jaw, the ever ongoing story of my jaw, with the impact of the running, and especially if I'm wearing a visor or sunglasses as well, it just aches a lot. So because this is denser than like the chews or the gels, I just find it's a bit much to chew in the middle of an event. But anyway, moving on to something else that I like to fuel with, because I'm really bad at drinking enough generally, and I'm really bad at chewing and eating. Chewing and running. So I use the Precision Fuel. This is their carb mix. Their carb drink mix. So per serving of this, which is 2 scoops, you get 30 grams of carbs. So I actually tend to go for a serving and a half in each of my bottles. So each serving is 2 scoops of this, but I go for 3 scoops in each to make it more concentrated. And then when I get to an aid station, I can just top up the rest of my bottle as I'm going. And then I'll take like a little bag of this with extra servings in as well. This has got 120 calories per serving and 30 grams of carbs per serving. And this has got a really neutral, like slightly lemony kind of flavour. No real texture to it, so it just means I can drink that as I'm going, knowing that I'm fueling without going, okay, I need to have a gel here. So I'll drink this just on the go throughout a long run, and then I'll supplement with like gels and chews. So yeah, but Rennie McGregor has a great book called More Fuel You, which I just started reading after seeing so many rave reviews online. So if you do want to dig in a bit more into, you know, fueling for events and everything, then I recommend giving her a follow. Oh, well, that was frustrating. I just ran out of memory card space, but I'm back. It is, I think, wildly overlooked just how important fueling is for these things. It's not just a case of go out and wing it. I actually had someone reach out to me, I think, like 2 days before they were going to go and do an event. They were like, how should I fuel? Like, what do you do? And I was like, you should not be changing things 2 days before. Like, you should not be mixing this up, like, 2 days before your race. Like, you should be practicing this in your training runs, like, whatever you've been fueling on until this point, like, go out and do that. Like, add more of those things in if you think you need more, but don't go out with a new strategy, new, like, things to fuel on, because when you get it wrong, it can really go wrong and you can get really caught short. So it is really important to try all these things in mock race situations. Next question. How do you talk and run at the same time? Impressive. So when I take you guys on a run with me on my GoPro, on my phone, and I'm chatting to you, it's because it's a long run, and long runs should be like a conversational pace. And generally speaking, especially at the moment, I'm going out and doing those by myself, so it's quite nice to have someone to talk to in the form of a GoPro if I'm talking to you. But your long runs should be at a conversational pace, and you don't wake up from doing no running to running like 30k just like that. So you do build it up, and so if you're building up that distance and it is at a conversational pace, then you should be able to do it too. But the key is to not letting ego take over. So your long run at a conversational pace will be slower than going out for a tempo run or going out to smash a 10k or going out for intervals. And it's really easy to slip into what are people going to think when they see it uploaded on Strava. I should run faster so people think I can run faster for my long run. But actually that does nothing for you, because it's going to take you longer to recover. You're not going to hit the rest of your session so well, and you're being really dishonest with yourself. And so your training is then not going to get the benefit that it's supposed to get, because you're not taking your easy runs easy and you're not taking your long runs at that slower pace. Next question. Are there specific training plans you recommend, or do you write your own? So this is an interesting question, because when I started ultra running, a friend of mine that I used to PT with, Martha, I'll link her here, she coached me for my first ultra. Then when I did the Ultra X virtual qualifier, jeez, my shoulders, I was part of the Ultra X team for that, and we had Carla Molinaro coaching us as part of getting us ready, as part of that package kind of for us to do that race. And then after that, I asked her to take me on as a private client. So then I was a fully paying client with Carla, and she then coached me for my 100k. Yeah, I don't have a coach at the moment. Carla is fantastic, would 100% recommend her. If you could afford that kind of bespoke one-to-one coaching, then go with Carla. There's also platforms like Runner, RUNNA. They do programs, it's an app, and they work with like Ben Parker, and they put together a program for you to follow on this app on your phone. So yeah, there are all, you know, if you've entered a race, like quite often, like the London Marathon, I think, don't quote me on this, you can go onto the London Marathon website and download like a generic plan. So I am self-coaching for the UTMB OCC, which is 56k and 3,500 meters of elevation, but I'm feeling so good about it. Like, something clicked at the start of July and I feel fantastic. And possibly the most prepared I've felt going into a race, but I think a lot of that is down to me not having to let anyone down other than myself. Yeah, so I've been really enjoying self-coaching, and I've found kind of a groove around work and Bonnie and myself and like when I like to train. So yeah, it's been working, and I'm really looking forward to that moment where I can say, I coached myself for the UTMB OCC, here's my medal. But I've diverted from questions now, so let's take it back because my pizza is in the oven. So we're switching up to a hike question now, I love this. Of all of the hikes you've done, which is your favourite and why? Back in March, we went and did the Welsh 3000s, and we didn't complete all of them. We did 11 out of the 15, and that hike for me, we were carrying all of our stuff on our backs with a wild camp in the middle, so we were carrying a tent, sleeping bags, like ended up on like the side of Trefan that you don't want to be on, the North Face, like scrambling up this mountain with like a 20 kg pack on my back. Like I could feel the wind trying to take it, and it was so scary because we lost our path. I was navigating on my watch, and the greenery foliage was like overgrown, and we lost our path, and you know, that's where we ended up. We got to the top, everything was fine, but it taught me a lot about myself, my resilience, like what I'm scared of, what I can do, trusting like someone else to help me in those situations, how much time I can actually spend on my feet, and also that it was getting to a point on the second day. We had to get back on the Sunday. We camped on the Friday night, did half of it Saturday, half of it Sunday, and we did the Carnids, the gliders, and we were heading towards the Snowdon Massif, and time just wasn't on our side, and it was getting to a point where it just wasn't going to be safe to do it properly, and especially Crib Goch. Like I'd love to go and do it, but I think I'll hire a guide to take us over. I'm not going to go up a mountain that I don't know that I can get back down again, like in daylight. And so we called it, and we took a leisurely stroll. I say leisurely stroll, like we were still hiking, to YHA to get a taxi back to the car park. But calling it quits, knowing that you hadn't completed the entire challenge, but knowing that you'd done that and that was the safest thing, like that was something I was really proud of, because my ego could have gone, no, we've come here to do all 15 peaks, like let's go, let's power through, because this is what I've said I'm coming out to do, but it just wasn't safe, so we called it quits. Next question, do I eat anything specific before a race challenge to fuel it better? Carbs, carbs, carbs. If I'm doing races in different places, especially abroad, then I'm not necessarily going to be able to have my pesto gnocchi before it. So now I'll just have like whatever, a lot of carbs. And if I can't get them in through food, I'll have like fruit juice, smoothies, some cake here and there if I have to. Next question, I think I need to fire through because my pizza has been in for a while now. Hydration vest, something to hold my phone, etc. Which are best? I have got a different one for the UTMB, but I'll show you that in a different video where I go through what I'm taking with me and all of my kit. So I'll show you the ones that I've used up until this point. In terms of, this is my first ever pack I bought. Lower end of the budget and also lower in terms of volume. So this one is a decathlon one, a brand called Kalenji. They don't make this specific one anymore, but they do have a brand called Everdict now, which is essentially, I think, the same. They might have just rebranded, I don't know, but the packs look fairly similar. This cost me about £15. This is my pack, this is 5 litres. It's got space for a hydration bladder in the back. Just super light, super comfy, job's good and great first pack. Then I upgraded for my first ultra. I upgraded to the Salomon Advanced Hydro Vest. This is an 8 litre pack. And this is one where the bottles sit in the front, so a different setup to the other one. There's space in the back for a bladder as well, but this has got the bottles that sit in the pouches here, and I actually prefer it for running. I just had to go get my pizza out of the oven. And then, so in that one, that has the bottles that have like a sports cap on them, the soft flasks from Salomon. And then this one, I'm really terrible. I have not cleared this out. I only ran this morning, so you know, but I've not cleared it out. This is the Advanced Skin 8, so 8 litre capacity. It's the skin, and this one's a women's one. The other one is unisex. Oh yeah, price. I managed to wangle a deal on Amazon for like £25 for this. They do retail more. You can get deals on places like Sports Shoes. Like, just have a look online. Like, you might even be able to get a second-hand one if you're after it. This is the Advanced Skin 8. So it's more of like a lycra material at the back here. It's got more secure pockets, and it's got bottles with straws. I tell you what, this was life-changing. So, I'll take one out. As long as I don't squirt lemon squash everywhere. So this is the bottle that goes in the front here. And I tell you what, drinking from straws is so much easier. I did trim my straws, so anybody getting this, the straws are quite long, but you can like dunk it in hot water. There's a whole process, Google it. I trimmed them so that they're not like smashing my cheeks. They kind of sit like this, and I can just like take a drink without having to like fully crane my neck down for the bottles. It is a fantastic pack, and it's a women's one, so it does fit a bit nicer, a bit more snug, and a bit better on the old chest. I don't have much going on here, so I can't speak for women that have bigger boobs, but I find this super comfy. I have, like I say, got a different one for the UTMB. The colour is gorgeous, but I'll show you in my next video. So those are the packs. There are different ones you can get on Amazon, you can get on Sports Shoes. Lots of different brands do them now. These are just the ones that I've got and that I get on really well with. I prefer... this one's just really comfy to go for a quick run, super light. But I found the front hydration system just really nice. So then all of my kit's in the back. It was a bit more balanced, because then the water's in the front, or the drink or whatever is in the front, and then your like extra kit and everything is in the back. So it just felt a bit more balanced rather than everything on the back. How long have you been training for your ultra? So I decided at the start of 2020 that I was going to run an ultra. So it was February 2020 that I entered. I wanted to raise some money for charity. And me being me, I don't do things by halves, and I was convinced that if I just did a marathon or a half marathon or something, then I wouldn't gain enough traction for fundraising. And so I was like, sod it, I'm going to do an ultra. And at this point of entering, the longest run I'd done was 12 kilometres. I'd also taken like 9-10 years off running. Yeah, so I didn't start ultra training until February, March 2020, coincided with the lockdown, spent all of my time in lockdown running, and then did my first ultra September 2020 and haven't really stopped. I didn't do a lot after my 100k last year, so I did 100k July 2021, had jaw surgery 6 days later. That forced me to rest from the ultra, which I don't think I would have taken so much time out had I not have had jaw surgery. So that forced me to rest a lot more. And then I really struggled to get my mojo back. I started a new job. I was still recovering from my jaw. My jaw still hurts every day now, like it's not really done anything. But I really, like my boyfriend was away with the Navy and I just couldn't get back into the groove. So I took quite a bit of time out that then led to a DNF, so I did not finish at my ultra in December, which I've re-entered for this year and I'm coming back to smash it. And so it took me a long time. It took me until properly, like being completely honest, it took me until like June, July this year to fully get the bug back. And then I was smashing ultra. I did also Man vs Coast, and then I'm going out to the OCC in a week and a half. So in terms of this ultra, I've been training. My other races this year were like training runs for this particular race. So I've been training for, I think seriously for this one, like 16 weeks. But in terms of ultra training, it's been since February, March 2020. Do I have an Apple Watch? No, I've got a Garmin Fenix 6 Pro. This is with one of the Fits, I say one of, Fit Straps UK. I collabed with them a while ago, and I've got one strap from one colourway on and one strap from a different colourway. But this is the Fenix 6 Pro and it's fantastic. I got this before my 100k last year. You can download GPX routes onto it, so it navigates for me. So I would say I don't get lost, I still get lost sometimes, but it helps me not get lost as much as I would. The battery life on it, still a year in, I wear it every single day. Okay, I'll show you the tan. It was really bad a couple of weeks ago, but that is the tan mark. I never take it off. Battery life, 14 days. 14 days, that's massive. I can't remember how many days it is if I put it into like ultra trail mode, but I think it's like 27 days if you have it on like ultra, like endurance mode. But yeah, it's fantastic. So I treated myself to this before my 100k to make sure I had a watch that would get me through it. So yeah, Garmin Fenix 6 Pro, and highly recommend. So I don't have an Apple Watch. I did have an Apple Watch until, you know, traumatic time 2019. Had to sell a load of stuff to afford my tax bill at one point. Different story. So I sold it, but for what I'm doing now, I don't think an Apple Watch would be the right fit for me anyway. So yes, go with this. I'm going to leave it there because I've not really drank much, have I? Cheers. My pizza was ready a while ago and now it's just sat on the side and I'm hungry. So I'm going to go eat that. But thank you for joining me. Thank you for the questions. If we like this, I can do maybe like a monthly Q&A. It doesn't have to just be about running. It can be other things, training, life, hiking, whatever. Running with a dog. She's so great. She's like asleep under the table right now. But yeah, thank you for sending all your questions in. It's been really great chatting to you and I'll see you soon.